So, there's been something that's keeping me up at night, literally. As other than, I don't know, did I actually release it? I can't remember. There's no tab, I don't think I did. I was talking about, again, the topic of one doesn't mean many. This is in the topic of crime and essentially discrimination, hatred. Is never rational. But I also made something last night where I also didn't release that because I wasn't sure. I feel like I have to make it now, and it feels crucial. So I've been thinking about this topic. About there was a news story a few weeks ago, and apparently some woman had sex over 1,000 times in one day, which is already questionable. Just how the fuck do you do that? Like if you divide it up by like minutes, like how the hell? How like let's just do the calculations quick. So, assuming they do it for like 24 hours and times 16, 1,440 minutes. That's like almost one fucking session every minute. But that's crazy. So, how the hell do you even do that? But the thing that stirs me about this isn't so much the fact it happened, it's like something that come up with, unfortunately, very biased times short on TikTok. There's one was sort of pinning the left as the problem here, as to why she did that. And basically saying that we hold trauma as if it's like something sacred and something that we shouldn't look into. But that's not what we're doing. In fact, most people on the left have trauma, and that's why we even fucking on the left. We want progress, we want justice for victims. And that's why I feel like that short was kind of stupid and that comment was just unnecessary. The rest was perfectly valid though. Just talking about what sort of trauma that woman could have gone through. Not only in that moment, but in general, from the past. It just makes you wonder, like, how the hell do you even get to that point? And why are we celebrating this? Because there's obviously something fishy going on here. Unfortunately, you can't make it sound not punny. And it does bother me. But it got me thinking about how other people are sort of doing the same thing. Not the same thing as a woman, but literally doing the same things that traumatized and closed-minded people do. They're literally stuck in an echo chamber and they think, yeah, this is my life now. I'm just going to keep going. You know, sometimes abuse victims will never talk about their abuse because that's so normalised to them and that's so common. You know, I remember, like, a weird anecdote, but I had an autistic friend who was about twice my age, and hopefully she don't mind me talking about this, but over the years she's had very suspicious partners, and obviously it comes from desperately wanting a partner, but she hasn't had the best of luck. And the crazy thing with what I've been told by her anyway is the fact that the abuse, she said, feels normal, which is just fucking crazy. And she even has it with friends as well. Like, I don't understand what conditions people to think that it's normal. But I sort of realised that if that's all you're brought up with, then you are probably going to think that. You know, luckily I had split parents in that sense, and I knew right from wrong, and also had differing opinions. So naturally, critical thinking was already sort of instilled in my mind. It was sort of embedded in there, just from the fact I had different views. It got me questioning things and wondering if there's any valid validity to it. But even with some of the trauma I've had, it's just been like, okay, what's going on here? Is there anything like worth looking into? Is there anything safe? But they did teach me a lot about right from wrong. And in other people's views, unfortunately, they don't have the, well, it's like both a double-edged sword, really. It's good and bad. They don't have that scenario to even consider that, to see both sides, because it's often one-sided. And I was going to go on a whim here and say the majority of people who've grown up like far right and in the UK like Reform and stuff, and like even just GB News, fucking ass people. There's generally an issue with how these people are brought up. Because if they're the same people pretending to say they protect women, and when you find out that most of them are domestic abusers, it's kind of like, oh, well, they're obviously hypocrites, but there's something more going on here. And then you look into it deeper, and you find out that, again, like most of the anti-immigrant stuff, these are all like men in their 40s and 50s, and they're literally protesting this shit. And some of these people are like really evil people, like almost on the cusp of murder, I guess, of people. But they're people who like hit their wives and fight back. Like, they just have no concept of empathy and understanding of other people. That's what they've been brought up by. But there's also probably trauma there as well, because for people who don't know, like generations of like 30 years ago or more, there tended to be a lot more trouble in school. Like teachers can hit you, teachers will punish you however they please. It doesn't matter. It just hurts people. Just fucking noise again. I've complained about this multiple times. Fuck me. So yeah. So generations of trauma, essentially, is what it is. And it does make me wonder, like, can you blame them or can't you? Like, is there anything we can do? It's one of the things I'm wondering. Like, because it's so normalised, it's so embedded, it's like, oh yeah, it's normal to hit people, it's normal to blame the left for all your problems and blame immigrants. But that's like, it could be further from the fucking truth. It's just, it's baffling. It's really disgusting as well. And these are people who've generally not been brought up with critical thinking. If anything, these parents, I think, somehow lead their children into a blind spot and pass down the trauma. I'm not saying by hitting themselves, but it's likely that they're doing it by teaching them wrong, and that's what happens. And today, I think there's more cases of trauma because of simply how the world is. How people don't understand it. And that's where I see like posts and like such autism and stuff like every day. But it's like someone's autistic child is essentially going on a rampage and hitting people just for the sake of it. And the parents themselves are not guilty of it, so it comes from somewhere else. Where it comes from, we don't really know, I don't think. It bothers me a lot. Because there's a lot to be done. I keep hearing noise outside. Yeah, this discussion needs to be had, I think. Like what causes people to be like this, and can we get to the bottom of it? Can we even treat it? I'm surprised that a lot of therapists and psychologists seem to have brushed over the idea. Because it's literally prevalent everywhere. And it literally needs actual professionals to look into this to discover what to do. Because I think the only way you can stop a massive hate train, bigotry, is through either force or treating the cause of the problem, the source. And I don't really know how to address it exactly. It's a really concerning thing here. Just knowing what to do in that sort of state. It's like if you see someone saying like, "Oh, deport them all," what do you say to that? Like, how do you get underneath that mask or skin and see what's actually going on? Or do you just say like, "Oh, did you get hit as a child, or did you get taught something?" Like, there's many ways to sort of dismantle the mask and see what's actually under there. But again, it's not that simple. I don't know, that's always been my strategy though, to take off the mask and also get to the point. Because underlying all of it is really something else. And again, if you're only taught that in a closed bubble, I imagine you're stuck in your room all day and that's all you know. That's actually what it's like for them. So you end up getting different, believing something else, and it just becomes harm in the end. It even comes in the form of crime, we know. So, yeah, it needs discussion, so that's really all I have to say. And thanks for listening. See everyone another time.